So I was actually working on a video to convey my thoughts on a certain upcoming Disney show, but since I'm an angry procrastinator trying to make a script for that video, it's taking more time than expected. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. If you want to see that, it is coming. Just hang tight. It's going to take a little bit more time. But recent news broke out about a franchise that I actually enjoy, and since my thoughts on this are a lot more clear and not fueled by rage, I decided I'm going to talk about this first because I want to calm down a little bit and take care of my mental health. Anyway, hey guys, I'm on. I want to be your friend, and if you're out of the loop, on March 14th of this year, it was announced that Precure was going to get a new series portraying the old characters as adults, and it's literally called Adult Precure. The reason they're doing this is because, well, the franchise is 19 years old. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary, and they understand that a lot of the fans that were watching it back then are adults now, and they want the adult fans that are watching the series today to enjoy the series even more, so they decided to make this. Toei Animation is obviously the executive producer. I heard that they were probably co-producing it along with Studio Dean, but I could be wrong with that. Takayuki Habana is directing it. Yoshimi Narita is returning as the series composition writer. Naoki Sato is returning to compose the music, and since the target demographic is different, it's going to be broadcasted on NHK Educational instead of TV Asahi, and it's slated to release in October of this year. Interestingly, it was also announced that Mahou Precure was going to get a sequel, currently titled Mahou 2. Not a lot of information is released on that, but it is aimed to be released sometime in 2024. I'll admit I was excited for it, but I also did have some problems with this announcement that was going to be stated in its own video. Looking back at it, it was honestly very opinionated, as my argument against Mahou could easily be refuted if you believe there was more to the story beyond its initial conclusion. And my argument against Yes 5 has literally been out of my control for 15 years now. Despite this, the actual reason I decided not to make that video is because my subconscious presented me a concept of Otona Precure with a lot of Cure Princess propaganda in my sleep. I know it's weird, but it worked because that video does not exist. Anyway, time to rewind and give you some personal backstory. So around early March, before the announcement of Otona Precure, there was a release of Shikishi art of Splash Star, but instead of just drawing Saki in mind like they normally do, they actually added Michiru Kiryu and Kaoru Kiryu, which they almost never do ever. And that got me really excited because, like, those girls barely get recognized. When they even show up in film, like, there's only very few people that actually pay attention to them. People will decide to pay more attention to Cure Echo because, I mean, like, fair. Anyway, I screenshotted that low quality version and I kept it in my arsenal. Now, I am a really big fan of Splash Star. It did take me a little bit to warm up to the series, but I genuinely enjoyed it. There are a lot of great elements about Splash Star, and I wish it got more attention other than just Saki Mai shipping. Like, seriously, if you watch that series and all you care about is Saki and Mai's relationship, like, for Yuri reasons, either rewatch it or there's the door, because, like, genuinely how. But I finished that series about 5 years ago, but I don't know if it was because I thought there was more to the story, if there were questions that still needed to be answered, or if I just wasn't ready to let go of the characters yet. But ever since I finished the series, I always felt that there should have been a season 2 instead of, like, Yes 5 Go Go. And I genuinely wish that Splash Star got a sequel. And I still believe that. There are probably some fans who look at it for more than just Yuri who don't agree with that and think it should have just been left where it is. But I always felt that there should have been a sequel. So after the Otona announcement, a few weeks later, I post on my social media, hey, if Otona is successful, they should make a second season called Kinohana. Which is a direct reference to Cure Bloom. Although, like, looking back at it, I feel like it should have been Futatsu no Kokoro or Subete no Kokoro, because Kibou no Chikara for Yes 5 is more in part with the team, as that is a phrase that the entire team says. And while Futatsu or Subete no Kokoro is something exclusive to Bloom, it does lead a little bit more into the teamwork, so maybe I should have changed it, but, you know, it was months ago, so, like, whatever. Anyway, on June 20th, the official website for Otona Precure got updated with 3 new character designs, along with the announcement that Saki Hyuga and Mai Misho would be joining the cast of Otona Precure, with Orie Kimoto and Atsuko Enomoto reprising their respective roles. Also, side note, Akira Inagami and Toshie Kawamura were not hired as character designers for this. Instead, they got someone named Atsuko Nakajima. I'm not familiar with her work, but that probably explains why Rin, Saki, and Mai are all wearing variants of each other's outfits. Anyway, people started finding my post again on Tumblr, which inspired me to create this video. At a bare bones reaction, I'm pretty excited. Like, we got Saki and Mai here, not the Kiryu sisters, but, like, what you gonna do? They don't like them as much. I'm really happy to just see that Splash Star is getting acknowledged again. Although, Yuko Sanpei, the voice of Nozomi Yumehara, stated that she got word of this on April 1st and initially believed it was a joke or just didn't take it seriously. And in hindsight, I kind of wish it was. See, my biggest issue with this is that Kibou no Chikara Otona Precure was not advertised as an all-star series. It was specifically advertised and potentially trademarked or pitched as a sequel specifically to Yes Precure 5 Go Go. When it was officially announced, the official article explaining this stated that the sequel was going to portray the girl's growth and center around Nozomi Yumehara. And we also got a separate announcement for a Mahoskai sequel, and it was treated as 2 separate productions. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is no official trademark listed for Mahoskai 2, probably because they don't have an official name for it yet. But, like, we got an official announcement for a Yes 5 sequel and a Mahoskai sequel, but we didn't get that for Splash Star. And then all of a sudden they're showing up in the thing that was advertised to specifically be a sequel to one specific series, to one specific continuity. The thing is, when I said if Otona is successful, they should make another season about Splash Star, I specifically meant another season, a separate continuity, a sequel to Splash Star on its own, not just characters from that series being a marketing campaign or an accessory to a series that isn't even fucking about them. I'm gonna be honest, I do want to see a continuation of both, but Yes 5 didn't have Saki and Mai because the world and the story did not apply to Saki and Mai's world. And Saki and Mai did not have Nozomi Yumehara and all her friends because they didn't exist at the time. They didn't exist when Splash Star was being made. Both of their worlds, both of their stories are different and separate from each other. If you want to present us with the idea of a sequel to these series, you should treat them in their own separate continuity instead of acting like they existed within the same universe the whole time. I know like Hugto and All Stars does this, but the thing is, All Stars changes the rules of those worlds so that those girls can communicate with each other. It only applies the rules of the other worlds so much. I know this was apparently being planned since April, but if this was more than a marketing campaign, why didn't we hear about this before June? Why aren't we seeing Mirai Riko, Kotoha Mofrun in these ads? Because Mahoskai was announced before Splash Star was. So if this was intentional the whole time or is not just a marketing scheme, because another side note, Splash Star only got more attention after the Otona reveal, which I mean like is usually how it goes, but Splash Star is basically underground in the fandom, and again there's like only Yuri fans. It feels like a marketing campaign, and there's not going to be too much thought put into the fact that they're putting Splash Star characters into it, and I honestly just wish that they kept the integrity of the original series instead of doing a stunt like this. I'm still going to give Otona a chance, but it feels kind of artificial to me. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. I'm pretty sure you guys have your own. Feel free to share them in the comments down below. I love to hear people's thoughts, even if they don't agree with mine. Follow me on social media. Anyway, guys, if you like this video or you like what I do, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share. I don't even care. Until next time, bye-bye.